Today I have the distinct pleasure of speaking with George Bauk all the way from Australia. How are you today, George?
Fantastic, Tracy.
And I have to say congratulations. The news you are literally putting out as we speak for your definitive feasibility study is out and on time.
Yeah, absolutely, Tracy. We said we are going to get it out at the end of February, so it's out this morning, and importantly, it's got improved economics and other factors in the announcement.
Well, I just want to back you up because I'm still savoring the fact that it's on time. You know, the heavy rare earth march to market and production has been a real battle over the years, and you're on track. Can you give us the highlights of your feasibility study?
Sure. Look, the NPV's gone up, so we've seen an increase by about $100 million to over $550 million NPV. Our cash costs have come down, which has come from $40 to $37.60. We've seen the capex move slightly up, about $15 million, but that's the result of a couple of things. One is the mining, the timing of our portal coming in means that there's $10 million moved from sustaining into pre-production capital, but we've also enhanced the hydrometallurgy plant with an increase of 5% to our recoveries from 88 to 93.
And for anyone in the InvestorIntel audience that's not familiar with Northern Minerals, this is the story that all of our writers love and recommend. And of course, you've got a Xenotime. You're one of the best heavy rare earth projects in the world. And wasn't it just last week, I think you announced another $49.5 million, nearly $50 million, excuse me.
That's right. So if you go back in time, the last 5 years we've raised $75 million and invested into the project, and now we're at the next stage of getting the serious backers in to take us into production, which, you know, with a capex in Aussie dollars of about $330 million, now's the time to really position ourselves with the investors that are going to now leapfrog us into production. We've been very fortunate enough to join forces with Gen Mining, a Chinese group who have delivered a $49.5 million package. It's subject to due diligence and shareholder approval, but as part of that, there's an initial $5 million convertible note, which $3 million was paid last week, and now they've started due diligence last week. They're on site tomorrow, so that could be leading towards a great relationship.
Of course, you were up another 12% here last month, and you were up the month before. And for anyone who's watching the news that's interested in rare earth elements, of course, there's a price charge happening in Dysprosium, and you're one of the best dysprosium projects in the world. Absolutely,
Tracy. We've been blessed, and we always talk about this. If you go back and pull apart Northern Minerals to its bare bones, the real centrepiece is the Xenotime in a very simple host rock with largely quartz. So that's really given us the advantage to focus on enhancing our metallurgy, our low capital costs relative to other projects, because we have such an easy way to get to the final product. But the Xenotime brings with it a very high distribution of dysprosium, and as you said, we've got 9% in our final product, which is quite a large amount of DY. And when you look at the total amount of DY we'll put into the market, it will be a significant contribution to dysprosium's shortcomings.
And of course, you've been one of the primary 7 rare earth companies since 2008, when all of this first started, and we had that big run up in 2012. We're starting to see price trending moving north again. Where do you see the prices going?
Yeah, look, I mean, I really believe we're seeing prices shift north now. There's a lot of activity happening in China. A lot of people talk that back in 2011, when the prices was going crazy, there was a lot of stockpiling happening. So there's a sense that there's a lot of people that are starting to run short on their stocks of rare earths. Plus, the Chinese are now adhering to the WTO. You're seeing the illegals being stamped out, which is predominantly the heavies. So it's almost creating the perfect storm coming up, that you'll see pricing move to probably a more sustainable level. That's going to mean the success of a number of projects getting up. We secure supply, and when a number of projects come in and secure supply, I really believe that we'll probably see another level of increased demand, and that'll gain the momentum, and we'll see rare earths entering into a new exciting phase.
So what should we expect next?
Okay, so for us, there's a number of things we're focused on. Is to complete the transaction with Gen. That'll give us the money to then complete our detailed engineering designs. We can start getting into planning with procurement and so forth, and our secondary licenses. So that's the real focus. It's financing offtake is where Northern's now moving into, because we really put behind us the studies ready, the project's ready to go. We now need to get the funding and offtake in place.
Well, George, congratulations and thank you for joining us today.
No worries. Thanks, Tracy.